welcome to the Future of Comedy Show livecast. Okay, this is gonna be a great show. I'm very excited about it. We have the one, the only. She's a amazing stand-up comic, and she has a law degree. And she said, "Nah, screw that. Screw being a lawyer, a high-paid lawyer, making money, doing deals." She said, "No, I'm gonna be a comedian." And she said, "I'm gonna bring laughter to the United States of America." And she's been traveling all over the place, doing shows and opening up for Sarah Silverman at the Oddball Comedy Festival and doing all sorts of fun stuff and doing the Future Comedy Show. And we have her here backstage. We're gonna bring her on. And let me just say in the beginning of this, none of this is legal advice. Please welcome Kate Brindle.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming on here. I'm excited. I love that every single show that I do has some sort of technical difficulty. So that's just kind of that's like the MO of the show. Just a sec. We're just about to start the show, and then my camera went off for no reason. But we have Kate here. She's amazing. She's has a law degree. She's hilarious. We just did a show in Gladwin. You ripped their dicks off. No.
Not literally, but yeah.
Well, figuratively, yes.
Right, figuratively. And so did you. You killed it. They loved you.
Gladwin comes to party. They come for a show. When the comedy show's in town, they tell their friends and they get wild. They bring it to the streets. I like that you do comedy, but you also have a law degree. A law degree is like you could be making a ton of money and you're just like, fuck it. I'm gonna go find some people in Gladwin to laugh at me and do the show. What made you want to do comedy, like pretty much over like being a lawyer? Like how'd that work?
For making money? No.
Yeah.
I never really did want to do comedy. Actually, it was kind of a dare to myself because I thought it seemed terrifying. It was like the scariest thing I could think of. And I like to challenge myself. And so I decided, I was like, I'll do a 5-minute open mic and that's it. And, and then I'll be done and I can say, okay, I did it. But after that 5 minutes, I got the bug and I never stopped.
So you're playing truth or dare with yourself and you're like, I'm not doing truth.
Yeah.
I'm taking dare. And where'd you do your 5-minute open mic at?
I did my 5-minute open mic. It was in the back of a bar. And I still remember it was like, so I walked in the bar thinking, oh, okay. I mean, it was a small bar, but then they were like, no. The open mic's in there. And it was, I'm not kidding. It was like a storage closet, like a glorified storage. There was no real audience. It was only other open micers and there were no seats. There was a couch and that was it. That was like the whole seating. And I took my notes up there. I mean, I was like shaking and the paper was shaking. It was embarrassing. I think my camera went out again.
Yeah, there it goes. You're here with handy cam and
4K.
Cam 4K. Yo, Robbie, what's up? How you doing? All right. Well, I see that's how this show is gonna go. But luckily, we got a backup camera here. No big deal.
All right.
We'll just have to smush it down there. All right, whatever. Here we are. It's so ridiculous that you use all this equipment and then you end up using the worst thing ever. And now we got 11 people in here. My camera went down. The Titanic is sinking. We have Kate Brindle. She's talking about her first time. Her first time was in a small closet, and we're talking about comedy.
Right. Yeah, and I think I got like a laugh. That was it. And it was probably just a pity laugh, but that was enough to, it's like you get hooked. I feel like
it was like traumatic for you, or like what?
No,
Robbie,
no. I mean, what's that?
So you loved it right away. You're like, this is it.
Yeah, I loved it right away. I mean, it was terrifying, but I mean, it's that feeling of like, you're so in the moment, and my heart was racing and I was nervous, but I think it was that one laugh. One of my jokes got laughs. That was it.
Are you
but
always chasing the thrill? Are you always looking for? Are you a thrill seeker? Do you do thrilling stuff all the time just to like get away with it? Like maybe ride the Migos in Walmart and then just to
and
get
then
your
not
heart
plug them
pumping?
in.
Yeah, yeah. Ding dong ditching, stepping on pumpkins. Is that you?
Prank calling. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I used to. I used to do my fair share of ding dong ditching when I was in high school and middle school. I haven't done it in a while, but yeah, I do. I kind of like that. Yeah, I guess that adrenaline. I don't like a lot of like physical danger, like I don't think I'd ever bungee jump or anything like that, but I do. I like that feeling of like getting your heart going,
That the thrill of
the
it.
thrill. Yeah.
That's sweet. So you did the open mic. When was the time where you're like, this is gonna be it? Like, what show was that where you're like, this is gonna be the show? Or this is my life. And Head Richard says Kate is amazing, and he really
Well,
is.
so was Head. Hey, Head, good to see you. Well,
Head Richard's out in
yeah.
Texas with all my exes
Well,
doing his
yeah.
thing.
I should say good to virtually see you. So I think it was like I had this goal, like I want to get paid. I want to get paid to do it once, and then I got paid to do it once. I still remember it was at the show in Sandusky, Ohio. I got $25 to MC. Come to find out that there wasn't even a paid MC gig. I think the booker, who's actually now a really good friend of mine, just felt bad for me because I was so eager that he was like, all right, I'll give you 25 bucks. Come to MC this show. And you would have thought I had made it. I mean, it was so exciting. And then I remember thinking, okay, now I want to get paid every week, And then I think once I did that, that's when I was like, oh, maybe I can do this, and do it full time.
That's funny. I remember doing an open mic in LA when I first started, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like living in this house with like 30 people, and I needed toilet paper, and I was like doing this roommate joke about how roommates suck and all this stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm like, we don't even have toilet paper, and then like somebody stole toilet paper from the venue and then gave it to me, and I was like, my first paid gig. I was like, here it is. Here it is.
Hey, it counts, right? I mean, that was probably worth at least $1. So yeah.
I mean, back in the day, yeah, probably $1 back in the day. A little bit more now with inflation.
Mm-hmm.
But so if you guys are watching back at home and you're liking what you're seeing, drop us a like, a share, a comment, all that. And then if you need any legal advice, we cannot give you any legal advice. We don't do that. But if you have a question and you want to ask anything, we can do our best to answer it. But just know it's not legal advice. But in this case, what would be the worst legal advice you ever heard in your life?
The worst legal advice I've ever. Man, I don't know. I think that sometimes people think that like, oh, I didn't know what the law was. So that's, some sort of defense. Like, well, nobody ever told me, and it's fine. And I think that's probably not true, So
That's not a defense, as I didn't know.
I don't think that's a defense. I don't think ignorance of the law is a defense, because otherwise everybody would probably do that,
I think that's pretty fair, though. I think, hey, I didn't know. They should be like, well, now you know. Don't do it again. You know
I
what
didn't know, I didn't know you couldn't hold up a 7-Eleven. That's
I mean?
illegal.
I think we should get one 7-Eleven hold up. You know what I mean? And don't do it no more.
Right.
But there's a lot of laws that that people don't know about, isn't there? Like, what's a law that nobody knows about, but it is maybe something like that.
I don't know. I mean, I know that there's like a lot of laws that are on the books, like old laws that they've just never gotten rid of. I mean, in terms of like a law that nobody knows about, I don't know. But
Yeah, like, isn't there like some states like it's like illegal to have anal sex or something like that?
I think so. Yeah. I
Well,
think, yeah, somebody look that up. Google that.
Somebody Google that. Is it illegal to have weird? Here, I say it. All right, I'll Google it. Anal sex.
I think it comes down to like a question of enforcement, though, right? Like it might be on the books, but who's enforcing that? You know what I mean? Like, are people actually knocking on your door, like checking on you, or maybe.
Okay, here's one in South Dakota. It says in South Dakota you can get a whole decade behind bars for performing oral sex or copulation by means of mouth. And Rhode Island offers the same sentence and describes it as an abominable, blah, 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 detestable crime against nature.
Wow. Then, like, okay, I know our prisons are already overrun, but it seems like if they were actually prosecuting people for that, like, the whole state would be in jail, you know?
South Dakota, blowjobs are illegal in South Dakota.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I did not know that. And now,
yeah, I think it's probably one of those old laws that they just don't enforce, that they just never got rid of, you know?
yeah,
Never took the time.
what are you in for, Kate? I didn't know. That's not.
You'd be the most popular prisoner.
That's not a defense. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Anal sex is illegal in 10 states. Idaho, Utah, Michigan, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Oh, shit.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit. Oh, you look guilty as shit. Looks like you're about to do some time.
Learning some things today. Well, I do think it's funny. Like, Michigan does seem to be kind of like an outlier, right? Like, that it's all these southern states, and you said Utah was one of them, right? Pretty conservative state. And then Michigan, who knew?
So if anybody's out there but fucking, you're outlaw. You're an outlaw against the state of Michigan.
Look for your wanted poster.
Here's another one. It is illegal for women to be on top during sex in Massachusetts.
What? That's real?
Yeah, that's what it says. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, this is not legal advice. So,
well, right.
This is not legal.
It's not legal advice. Yeah, yeah.
But that would be a weird one to be in jail for in Massachusetts.
Right. Yeah. You would think they'd want to be the opposite, right? Like if some guys are like kind of lazy, you know?
No. Don't be breaking that law. I wonder how that law came into effect. Like, was it just like one chick was like, no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
It's like the first like woman who got the voting rights, and she's like, I'm changing this right now. I'm not top. I'm not riding.
And what was like, you know, because they usually have the floor debate on the at the legislature before they pass the bill. Like, what was that like? You know, were there a lot of people opposed? Or
we're sick of these women trying to get the upper hand. Yeah,
out wide.
But on a more serious note, you kind of like you were into law, and you work with an organization against anti-cruelty against animals, and you were a vegan, and you're like, we're not going to be cruel to these animals. What got you interested in that? How'd that work out?
So I basically, I'll give you this. I was 13 years old, and I was walking my dog, and there were people outside. We were in the strip mall, and they were saying, have you ever thought about being a vegetarian? And I grew up in a small town in Michigan, and, you know, was full of angst. And so, of course, I was like, no. And they're like, well, I still remember what they said to me. They said, you would never want your dog to suffer or feel pain, right? And of course, you know, I had to agree. And they said, okay, well, why don't you take this leaflet? Because chickens, pigs, cows, farm animals, they suffer and they feel pain. They have those abilities the same way your dog does. So I took the leaflet. It recommended a book called Diet for a New America, which was by John Robbins. He was the heir to the Baskin-Robbins fortune, but he gave it all up once he found out kind of what was going on in our food system. And so I started reading about what was truly happening, that it wasn't like these mom and pop farms, you know, with like the red barn and the animals out to pasture. It was some, you know, pretty awful stuff. And I realized that wasn't something I could support. So yeah, so that was like
that. You're like, and then what? So you've been working against it, and how's that coming? Are you saving the pigs and the chickens and the cows? And
yeah, we're so one of the things that we work on the most is we work on anti-confinement legislation. So we work with egg-laying hens, mother pigs in the pork industry, and then baby calves used for veal, because a lot of people don't know that these animals, they're actually confined in cages that are virtually no bigger than their own bodies. So like hens can't even spread their wings their entire lives. Mother pigs are in they're called gestation crates, and they can't even turn around for nearly their entire lives. They can only take one step forward, one step back. And these are like intelligent, sensitive animals. And so what we're doing is we're working in states across the country to ban that sort of confinement. And so we've had a lot of success, and I'm happy to report Michigan is actually one of them.
Hey, we did it.
We did it.
Yeah. All right, Kate. So I dare you. Let's go free these fucking animals. Let's go sneak them out, dude. Let's bust them out. Animal run. You can hide them in your house. Hide them in your house in Owasso.
I mean, I live downtown and I don't have a yard, so
I got a yard. I got almost an acre. We can bring them over here.
Okay.
We can hide them. Put a disguise on them, a little mustache, so
nobody would ever know, right?
Yeah.
I'd be like, "What's that cow doing in there?" Oh, that's not a cow. That's
a
Charlie
dog.
Chaplin.
That's a big dog.
Yeah, big dog.
Charlie Chaplin dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I think that's a good cause, and I think that and I'm glad you found something that gets you going, like comedy does. You know.
Oh, well, thank you.
That's pretty sweet. How long have you been doing that for? Fighting against the man.
I mean, since I was kind of in middle school, I mean, honestly, since I read that book, it changed my whole life. And I started doing volunteer work, and then I went to law school. I started working full time in it. So, I mean, it's been, I don't want to age myself, but it's like been 30 years.
Holy crap. No joking.
Yeah.
No joking.
I know. You're old. No, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's been a really long time. Yeah.
Look at this. We got one of our best listeners and watchers here, Heather Ann. She
said, "Hi,
Heather. Thank you for making a difference." See, look at this message. You do make a difference in people's lives. You give them a little bit of some jokes, make them laugh after a hard day of work, whatever they're doing, and that's pretty awesome. And we have a show together this Saturday in Clare at the VFW Post. They have a beautiful venue down there. You can come see Kate Brindle, myself, Jason Allen, and Steve Cass for one night only in Clare. And you definitely want to see Kate. She'll be ripping it up. And actually, I should have been putting this on here before. Look at that. I got all the dates right on the bottom. We're so cool. Look at us.
Well, and you're going to be, I mean, you bring so many laughs to people. I mean, people like, I look, when you're performing, I look at you, of course, because I'm watching your show, but I'm also looking around, and people are so engaged, and they love it, and they love being a part of it. And I think that's so true. It's like, if there's an hour and a half that we could just kind of take people out of their problems or out of whatever they were thinking about it. I mean, I think, not to be corny, but I think that's really special. And that's one of the reasons I love comedy.
I think we should be corny as shit.
Okay, let's do it. I'm up for it.
We're changing people's lives. We're holding them by their hearts.
One poop joke at a time.
We're getting in there. We're doing the things that you're not supposed to do, like anal sex in Michigan, and we're kidding it.
Yeah.
Hey, what would you say you're most proud of in your comedy career?
Oh, that's a good question. So my goal is to do all 50 states.
Ain't even Ingo goal.
I know, we have the same goal, and so we've actually gotten to knock off a bunch of them together, which has been really fun. So I've done. Let's see. I think I have 46 now. So
46.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah. So I'm really proud of that. What about you?
Well, right now I have financial goals that I'm trying to hit. I'm not gonna share them on here, but I do. I literally write down my goals every day. I got a bunch of them right there. Oh,
that's great.
See them. They're mine. But actually, so I know like comedy's not like it's not a competition between people, but I want to be the best comic I can be. So I'm always working on it. I'm always trying to think of how to make my act better. And a lot of different things. I want to sell a certain amount of tickets, and eventually have a special, maybe on Netflix. We'll see. Nowadays, it's like you almost can't go with like I'm almost so anti-establishment. Like I'm like I do my own thing. Like I'll have my own special, and it'll be on Facebook Live. Like I don't even give a shit. Like that's what it'll be. I'll be like, I'm doing my. I'll probably just live it and the camera won't work and the audio.
Right. You're like the best set of your life. It didn't record.
It's in like 340
Mhm.
megapixels.
Right.
But yeah, it's that's my thing, and I've already like knocked a lot of the stuff off that I was like wanted to do. Always wanted to headline a comedy club for a weekend, and I've gotten to do that, which is sweet. Shout out to the Kenosha Comedy Club and One Night Stands for giving me my first 2 weekends, and then headlining comedy clubs, Chicago Laugh Factory, San Diego Comedy Palace, and then doing all the one-nighters, State Theater. Okay, Brad Cook says self-produce one and put it on YouTube, homie. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not against it. I'm not against doing any of that, but comedy's like a long journey, and you just got to keep at it and do shows and get out there. Don't get caught having anal sex and go to jail. That's all you can. Oh,
that's right. Yeah. I mean, you would probably get some jokes if that happened to you.
You
but
might get more anal sex.
Probably. Or you might get 10 years in prison. Just don't do it in South Dakota, I guess.
Don't do it in South. No.
Yeah.
Don't do it in South Dakota. Who did you look up to as a comic? Is there any inspirations that you had or anything like that?
You know, my favorite is, growing up when I was a child in the 80s, I loved Ellen DeGeneres. And I mean, she was my favorite because she would take these kind of everyday situations that might be boring or kind of mundane, but she would make them so funny. And I got a chance to see her live maybe like 20, yeah, it was, probably like 20 years ago now. And she was incredible. I mean, she was amazing. I saw her at the Michigan Theater. She's the only comic I've ever seen who did like she did like the curtain call, then she did the encore, and she just said, yell out your favorite bits and I'll do them. And it was like a band, and even though I've heard those bits a million times, it was like I was hearing them for the first time. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. So I really, I know she's kind of had some controversy lately, but
yeah, she can't. They've been talking about her not being very nice, that she's a faker, that she's just all for the camera, all smiles for the camera, and off camera she's a big old mean lady.
That makes me so sad because she was. I mean, starting when I was a child, I just looked up to her so much, and I thought she was so brave to come out, and yeah, it's a real shame if she's not the real deal. So, but yeah, she was who I looked up to.
Hollywood got her.
Yeah.
Too big of a head. Because that's what it is. Like, people like to see that you're just a normal person. They're like, oh, this person's just a normal person. And look at Billy Chapman here. Shares a Facebook with his wife. I don't know what happened there. Got caught. Got caught in South Dakota, probably. And,
right.
He says,
now they got the joint account. Hey, Billy.
What you do, and we're so lucky to do is let people escape and laugh. Yeah, that's not corny at all. Yeah, and that is nice.
That's true.
I've had a few people say that they were having a tough day, and I turned it around.
Yeah.
So I always appreciate messages like that, especially because we're not allowed to even say that we're having tough days because, like, we're supposed to be the tough comedians. We're supposed to be happy all the time and laugh, and so I don't, nobody wants to be a bummer comedian. Oh, that's
right.
That's maybe a tough day, guys. Let's talk about it on stage. Nobody wants to hear that shit.
Right.
Neil says, you're quick and fast. You need to take a stepping stone at like Chicago Improv Group to get on Saturday Night Live or at least some national attention, and you'll have the ability. Would like to see you take the next step. Also, hi, Kate. Thank you, Neil. Neil's one of the first people to headline me.
Oh, yeah?
Neil. Oh, yeah.
Well, he's right. Right.
He headlined me over at the Jewel in Grand Blanc, and I remember he was one of the first people to headline me, and he put me on this fundraiser for a football team for women, and they were doing they're starting their first season, and it was awesome. Or wait, no, I didn't headline that one. I featured that one.
I thought you were going to say, wait a minute. No, it wasn't awesome.
No, it was awesome. I remember killing that set, and it was like so awesome. And like it was an all women's football team. And the quarterback of the team was like asking me to go out afterwards, like go out and hang out with them. I'm like, Ooh, the quarterback wants me.
Yeah, at least as a quarterback, right? Not like the third string bench warmer.
Yeah. So I thought, but Neil was one of the first people to headline me, and it was at the same place, but that was a different show. And I appreciate you, Neil. I'm gonna I don't know if I'm gonna do improv in Chicago, but the good thing about nowadays is that like you don't even need to get on Saturday Night Live. Really, all you need to do is have a clip go viral, and there you are. Then you have exactly the attention that you can get. And I'm not even really trying to get famous. Really, I'm trying to just have some money to retire one day, and that's that's all I really need. And I really just enjoy doing the shows with my friends, like you and Jason and Jason Allen, Jason Vess, Chuck, and Big Juicy. It's like they're just fun nights. We get out, we get out, get some laughs. People are crazy. See if anybody's watching this episode and they watched the previous one. So, Kate, after our show, Kate, this lady tried to get Mitch Gill to go to the strip club afterwards. And
wait, after our Gladwin show?
Yeah, after our Gladwin show, and she was sitting there, and I was like wondering, I'm like she was like there on a date, but she was like giving Mitch the come to the strip club, all this kind of stuff, and
it was the thong. She saw the thong.
Yeah, but I had to explain to her. I was like, Mitch, wears a helmet while riding a bike. He's not going to the strip club.
Yeah,
he's not risking it. He doesn't.
So he didn't go.
Yeah, he wouldn't do that. What's have you ever hung out with an audience member after the show? Have you ever done that?
Yeah, sometimes. You
ever get into some crazy shenanigans ever? What's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you after a show or during a show?
I guess there were a couple times. I remember I was doing a show one time in Indiana. It was me and Steve Sabo. Do you know him?
Yeah, who doesn't know Steve Sabo?
I love Steve Sabo. He was the one who gave me the $25 in Sandusky.
Oh, Steve Sabo would do that.
Big gig. Yeah. So anyway, we're doing some I don't know, maybe a VFW, something, or like a moose. And so we're there in Indiana. And I mean, it's like this place and a bar. That's it. That's the whole town. And they're just buying us shot after shot. And so we're super drunk. And they're like, well, come with us, next door to this bar. And so we go, and it's all these bikers and us. And then they clear the dance floor at one point. They put out 2 chairs. They basically push me into one and Sabo into the other. And then all the dude bikers who are like my dad's age and all the women bikers who are like my mom's age start all giving us lap dances at the exact same time. So, I just remember there was this guy with this huge mustache, going bald. His name was probably Larry, and he's just dancing all on me. And Sabo and I were looking at each other like, what the hell is going on? And so there was that time, and then there was a time I ended up at a party in North Dakota where, strangely enough, this was also with Steve Sabo. So we go to this party, and we both have this realization. And this was in one of those towns. It was one of those oil boom towns. So there were tons of money, and everybody was 21, and there was nothing to do. So they were spending all their money on crystal meth, pretty much.
Nice.
And so we get to this party, and we kind of split up at the party, and there's people doing lines on the stove near me. And Steve and I both have this realization at the exact same time that we're the only people there who aren't drug dealers. And so he's just we should probably leave. And I'm like, yeah, but. And this is pre-Uber getting to North Dakota at the very least. We didn't have a car. And I was like, how are we going to leave? And he's like, I don't know, but we're going to leave. And so there were these people, we hadn't met them at all at the party, and they were leaving. And we're like, hey, are you leaving? They're like, yep. And so we're like, cool. Can you take us with you? And we had never met these people. They're like, yeah, get in. And so I don't know. Those things come to mind. And then just random going to karaoke bars,
karaoke is golden. What's your
song? I like Hello by Lionel Richie, but it's kind of depressing. So I need another one. What's your song?
Gin and Juice by Snoop Dogg.
Oh,
that's my jam.
That's a crowd pleaser.
Oh, people love it. They get down. I also do Ice Ice Baby. I know all the words to both those songs. I don't need a screen. I'm gonna go hard in the paint. That's my stuff. That we
If you ever want to do an Ice Ice Baby duet, I'm all
You do some Ice Ice Baby too?
I would do it. Yeah.
All right. We'll still top these after the show.
Nice.
Okay, Heather. Heather's
Coming to the Claire show?
Heather's gonna try to get you to her hot tub.
All right. I
Heather's
like
hot tub. That's where the next podcast is coming from.
All right.
Heather's hot tub.
Heather's
all
hot
my
tub.
equipment gets wet. Doesn't work anyway.
Then you really have technical problems.
There it is. There it is. I like that. I do karaoke with you for sure. I do.
Okay.
Enjoy
Let's do
that.
it.
How? Okay, so you're sorry guys at home. Kate is not single and ready to mingle. She's married, right? How does that work on the road, on that road dynamic? Is he he's like, is he okay with you being a celebrity? Like, you're out there, all these people are like, oh, Kate Brindle, you're so funny. Like, how does he handle that? Is he pretty good with it or what?
He's pretty, I don't know if I'd say I'm a celebrity. He's pretty good with it because he is kind of a local celebrity in his own right.
Oh, he is.
Oh,
tell me about him.
He's kind of an Owasso celebrity.
Okay.
So he was a morning radio guy for like over 10 years.
Oh,
yeah. So whenever we go anywhere, he gets recognized. And hey, Kevin, I love Kevin Kramus.
Kramus, baby.
He was also an elected official, so he was a county commissioner.
So you guys are a power couple of Owasso.
Guess.
They see you out there like, oh my God, that's like Kim Kardashian and Kanye West.
Right.
The white Kim Kardashian and Kanye West.
Yeah. Yeah, so now he's cool with it, and I mean, because we have a daughter, and so he's great. He's really supportive, and so he stays at home with her during my shows, and sometimes they come with me. I mean, if it's like a cool vacation-y spot, or they've come to Kenosha before, so
nice.
That's
Kenosha.
Shout out to Kenosha. Yeah.
There. Memorial weekend will be with Frank. I'm bringing Eric Walensky to Future for me. That'll be a fun weekend.
That'll be a great show. I love Frank. That's a fun club. I love it there.
It's always an experience. The funny thing about Kenosha is that they'll give you a room, and then without fail, every time I'm there, you leave the hotel room. People are always having sex at like 7 o'clock at night.
At night or in the morning?
No, like in the evening.
Okay.
And I always hear them on the way to the show. I'm like, what is happening? Why are people always just doing it during the daytime here?
Yeah, who knew that Kenosha was maybe it's the secret honeymoon destination of Wisconsin.
Kenosha gets down, and it doesn't look like a honeymoon to me. They look like they're freaking just freaks.
Well, it could be that too. Yeah.
I can't believe Kate has a kid with Johnny Burke. That's hilarious.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. And then we got Monty. I haven't seen Monty in a long time.
We just did a show. She rocked the place. We just did a show in Grosse Pointe. What was that, like 2 months ago? She killed it.
Okay, and Monty's doing improv, or is she doing?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
we did stand up. I think she might still do improv, but also a killer photographer.
Okay, I do need some new headshots.
You should check her out.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I use the same picture for my schedule, and I just change it a little bit every time. And no, I should probably get a new headshot for promo. So
I
maybe
should too. Yeah.
Nah, yours is good. I mean, but
mine's 13 years old.
Oh man, you're catfishing people, Kate.
I am. I know, and it's super photoshopped. My teeth have never been that white.
People are like, who is
this? Yeah.
Oh man. Oh well, yeah. Headshots are important, I guess. And we're also here. If you guys are watching our 7 live viewers, this is like PBS numbers up here. We're killing the game. We've had up to 12. It's been
all right.
Good.
Hey, double digits.
And if you guys have any questions for Kate, she can't give you legal advice, but she could definitely, for entertainment purposes, give you some what she thinks. Let me see. So if you guys have any questions, maybe about who, I don't know, what do people ask you a lot for legal advice? Do they say, "Hey, you're a lawyer"?
All the time. Yeah. And here's the thing. So, I mean, first of all, I don't practice. I mean, I have a bar card. I'm admitted to the bar, but I don't practice. I work on trying to pass anti-cruelty laws. But even if I did, like, people have all these questions about like wills and trusts and estates or like DUI defense. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I took a class on that in law school and I studied for the bar, but that's it. Like,
You
I have
can't
no
even help
idea.
nobody. They can't help nobody on no DUI case. That's when
Sorry.
when I got my DUI, and so I'm almost 7 years sober. I got
That's amazing.
DUI, and I called every lawyer, comedian, and they said I can't help you. That's what they said.
Did you really call every lawyer?
Well, I talked to Nick, and he said no. He said there's nothing you can do. I looked at the paperwork. You're fucked. That's what he said. He said you're done for, kid. Get ready to go to the clinker, kid.
You're going to Slammer.
That's worse than anal sex in Michigan, dude.
Right.
That's what he said. He said you might have been blowing somebody in South Dakota. All right. Heather wants to know, what do you do to prepare yourself for the show?
Oh, well, I would say on the drive up, I practice, like I'll say it out loud and then I look at my notes and I give myself like little, this is so cheesy, but I give myself like little pep talk kind of notes, you know? And so I like, yeah, I'm like my own hype person, I guess.
Like, put us through it. Like, you're on the way to the show. Like, what are you saying to yourself? Like, oh, Kate, I am woman.
Hear me roar. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough. Doggone it. People like me. No, I'll say like.
Mitch says that all the time. Mitch Gill says that
Does he?
all the time. What's that from?
It's from SNL.
Yeah, because he was quoting that too. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's like part of the game, dude. You gotta like you gotta be.
Yeah.
You gotta be doing it. Like,
you do. You gotta be like your own hype guy, right? Like
positive.
Yeah. Like, I'll just say, like, this is fun. People came to laugh. They want to laugh at you. They want to have a good time, you know? So what do you do? I'm curious about your
I'm like the worst at preparing. Like, I'm really just so worried about the show. So I'm like, all right. I'm like looking at the things like, where am I going to set the lights up? Do we have all the stuff we need? Is the sound right? Are we checking the tickets at the door? Do people have places to sit? Like,
yeah,
I'm like the worst, but I've been producing shows for so long that the comedy is almost like second like thing to me. Like before I get to the show, you know, maybe I'll do some writing or, you know, whatever, like come up with like something to talk about, or like that's actually maybe between that part of like the producing and then to my set. I like to look at the audience and I like to try to find like 3 or 4 people that look like somebody I know. I'm like, okay, oh, there's this guy. He looks like this person, you know. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, this is Al Bundy. Oh, you know, this is you know, and try to do like 4 or 5 jokes about things in the room before I even get to whatever I'm going to talk about. That way, they know I'm present. They know I'm there. That's what they do. But that's good. I like that prep talk. I'm gonna. Oh, and I also do. I do pray before I go on stage, and I say, hey, thank you for the gifts that you've given me, and help me. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know why I'm blanking on it. Help me just do this comedy to the best level I can do it. You know, help me. You know. And that's all. And I said, thank you. Amen. And then I go up on stage. I'm like, all right, that's what it is. I mean, but you never know. Maybe it helps.
I love that.
You bomb. You're like, God, why?
Come on. I asked you. Yeah.
Help me find a thesaurus. I like that. So that's Neil's question. Hey, Neil, I know you need some legal advice from Neil, you got to need some legal advice. What do you get? Is it peeking through windows against the law? That's Neil's question.
I think the first time Neil and I were on a show together, I think it was a Mitch Gill show. I think it was that show in Caro, the first show we ever did together.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Neil's fun.
Neil's the king of dirty dad jokes, dude.
Yeah.
He's a dirty dad. That's Neil. That's what you should call yourself, Neil. The dirty dad of comedy.
Dirty dad. Well, I remember that show because I remember he was really funny. Well, still is. But
back in the day.
I well, I had not to be graphic, but I had my daughter via C-section, and I did that show a week after I got out of the hospital, and I was in so much pain that I was like, I don't want to laugh because it hurts every time that I laugh, but I was laughing so hard, So
That's awesome. That's very nice. You almost popped your stitches, Neil. Good job.
just yeah,
Good job,
yeah.
Neil. Killing the game. So how's comedy changed since you've had a daughter? And your daughter is called named Walmart Parking Lot.
Walmart parking lot, yeah.
You're like, hey,
WP.
don't tell people the jokes.
What's that?
You're like, don't tell people my jokes.
Yeah. Oh, I don't care, please. Well, I think it's, I think it's changing. I mean, it gives you more material. I feel like, and but I also think in a way, I mean, I used to be out there like every night, trying to. I mean, I would drive all these distances, and like, oh yeah, I'll drive 12 hours for a one nighter, no big deal, and always hanging out at the open mics. And so I think it's changed that a little bit. Like I've had to be a little more strategic about like where I perform, or I don't hang out as much as I used to, and go to parties with coke dealers. So I think it's changed a little bit in that regard, but not too much. I mean, because she comes on the road with me sometimes too, which is fun.
Just bring her on stage.
Just well, when she was 3 months old, I had a show, and I remember it was a whole thing, but basically I had to bring her with me to the gig. And the guy who booked it, who was also headlining, was like, well, my wife will watch her in the green room. I was like, okay. She screamed bloody murder for everyone who's a stranger, but all right. So she screamed the entire time I was on stage. And then he's like, you should bring her on stage. It'd be so fun. And I wanted to, but I knew she was just going to like scream. So I was like, so I didn't, but she's almost been on stage.
It's a nice little advertisement for birth control.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe not.
Do you think you want to have more kids, or you think just one and done, or?
I'd love to have more kids, but I don't know.
Celebrity babies.
Celebrity, right? Power couple babies.
Uh-oh.
We're old though, so I don't know. That ship might have sailed, but we'll see. You never know. And I mean, I'm open. Like I'm open to. I would adopt a kid. It doesn't matter to me.
He's watching right now. Your husband's watching like, oh, I don't know. Better put some money away for college. A second one.
Right. I know. Well, that's what he says. He's like, because he'll be 49. And so he's like, no, I don't want to work till I'm in my 70s.
Yeah, 70s, watching your kid walk down the graduation aisle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Graduating 70. I mean, with technology though, with stem cells and
cryogenics, we could like freeze ourselves. Yeah. So
what's your feeling on that? What's your feeling on eating or people eating placentas to get health or injecting placentas?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do it. I don't think I didn't do
it. I'm not blaming you. So here we are. We got Kate Brindle, celebrity out of Owasso, been eating placentas to stay young, to look like your 13-year-old headshot.
Right. No, I mean, hey, I've heard it's supposed to be good for you. If you want to do it, great. I mean, I think they make it into pills. I don't think you just start gnawing on like the sack of placenta. Like, I think you just send it away.
The sack in South Dakota, dude.
Right. You definitely can't do it there. But so yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to do it for your health, fine. If it makes you look younger, it's tough out there, right? Like people love youth. So whatever you got to do, I guess.
Here it is. Neil's asking the tough questions here. Who are your favorite current national headliners? I'll let you go first, and I'll do mine.
Oh yeah, I'd love to hear yours. I love Gary Gulman.
You would like Gary Gulman.
I guess, yeah. No, I do. I think he's fantastic. I like Maria Bamford a lot. It's hard to narrow down. I mean, there's so many comics that I like, and I really like Jessica Kirson. I've gotten really into her lately. How about you?
Okay, so I'm not gonna. Well, I could say nationally touring headliners I like right now, but I do want to put this out there that my first comic inspiration that I loved the most growing up was Jim Carrey, and
Mm,
that's what I want to say it on here. That I love Jim Carrey,
yeah.
and I had a dream that he came to me in the dream and he was talking to me about comedy, and I was like crying. I was like, "I'm your biggest fan, Jim Carrey."
Aw.
Dude, so I want to put that out there in the universe. I really appreciate Jim Carrey, and then Adam Sandler,
Mm-hmm.
and then obviously Ralphie May. He's one of my favorite people in the world. But my favorite current national touring headliner, probably has to be up there with I don't know, maybe Louis C.K. now that he's uncanceled. Bill Burr, um, maybe those two for sure. And then
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, you got some killers like Dave Chappelle
Mm-hmm.
and Kevin Hart and man, there's so many good ones. Big J Okerson, I love Big J. I love Big J because he does crowd work. And
Yeah.
when I first started, people were like, "You can't do crowd work. That's not real comedy." And then I seen Big J, and I'm like, "Dude, Big J does crowd work. I can
Yeah.
do some crowd work. He made it. I can do crowd work." It's funny because when you first start doing comedy, everybody wants to tell you what to do. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
don't do this, don't do that. It's like comedy can be anything as long as you can fill your time and people are laughing. But
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
good
You
question.
gotta kind of find your own path, I think.
Who's your favorite comedians, guys? You put them in there, and we'll put them up on the. If you comment it, we'll put them up on the banner. As long as you're doing this live, our 9 or 10 live viewers that we have now. Who is your favorite comic? We'll put them up there, and then we'll talk. We'll tell you what we think about them. And go. Okay, we're waiting.
Have
I
you
want.
ever gotten to open? I know you got to open for Ralphie May, but have you ever gotten to open for the others?
Oh no, I haven't got. Well, so I think the cool. Oh, this is one of my favorite people in the world, Nick Guerra. So Nick Guerra's from L.A.
Mm-hmm.
and originally from Texas, but I met him out in Los Angeles. I was working at this comedy club. It was New Year's Eve. I remember the club owner's like, "You should work here on New Year's Eve," and I was like, I think I want to like go to this party in Las Vegas, but then I was like, no, I might get some stage time if I work this thing like at this club.
Yeah.
So they had me they had me work in this DJ booth, and it was like New Year's Eve, and I'm like in this small like little DJ booth, and Nick Guerra comes out and he headlines it, he crushes it. And I'm like, "Oh my god, Nick, you did great." Just met him real quick, and I remember being like really like sad because I didn't get up on stage. I was just stuck into it like a little tiny closet,
Mm-hmm.
almost like your open mic, like your first open
Yeah.
mic. I
Yeah.
was in this little closet, and all my friends were back at home partying, and I was just kind of alone at this comedy club where everybody's like making out at the New Year's Eve, show. And then he ended up getting Last Comic Standing into like the semifinals of Last Comic Standing in between that time I seen him and the next time I seen him. And we've been friends, and he's always been super kind to me and
Aw.
really nice. So I always appreciate that. So here
Yeah.
they're putting it in here. Josh Blue.
Oh
That's
yeah.
one of his favorite. That's cool. What do
I
you
just got to open for him last year. He's great.
Where was he at?
He was at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle, and he was as nice as could be backstage too, which is always an added bonus.
He was no Ellen DeGeneres, we'll say that.
No, he wasn't. He was a sweetheart.
I love Bert Kreischer's energy, Jimmy Carr, and getting into Kyle Kinane lately. I freaking love Jimmy Carr is so funny, and Bert Kreischer is killer on the podcast. I haven't really.
Yeah, he's doing great.
He's got a lot of good stuff. Steve Lenz says Dave Welfare. Steve Lenz, Dave Welfare in the house. Oh, Stephanie said Mike Ball. Oh, look at this little sweet baby coming in here being all nice and sweet to me. Thank you, Stephanie. That was very nice. Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. Those are nice. That's a good thing about comedy too, is that there's so many different comics. No matter what, you can find a little bit of something. Some people like Carrot Top. Some people like Gaffigan. Seinfeld. Get all the different ones. Who is your favorite one? Oh, is it Ellen DeGeneres still?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I would say maybe from the 80s, I guess. But I was going to say, have you listened to Jessica Kirson much?
Mm-mm.
She does a ton of crowd work. I think you would love her because she's fantastic at it. And so I would highly recommend her. I think you would really, really like her. Yeah, she's pretty fearless. And yeah, her like she posts new stuff every day, just crowd work on like, Instagram and reels and all that. But you should check her out. She's been around for a long time, but I feel like it's been just lately that she's been kind of like breaking through.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Coming to the top. Jessica Kirson.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do that. Kate Brindle, Jessica Kirson, the dynamic duo.
I know, but I'd be such a nerd. Like, that's the thing. I don't know if you get like this. I get so nervous around famous people sometimes. Like, I'm always like, okay, be cool, be cool. If I admire them a lot. And I mean,
I'm the same way.
Are you?
I seen Joe Rogan. I was like 5 feet away from him at the comedy store, and I'm like, I am not gonna. I was like so nervous to even say anything because I'm like, what if I go introduce myself to Joe Rogan and he doesn't like me? I'm like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you think those like negative things, but sometimes like you get anxiety. Like, I don't know, but some people are cool. They were like real cool. Like I met Jeff Ross and I was like, oh shit, Jeff Ross, and
he was nice.
Yeah, it was real cool. Jeff Ross was
that's cool.
Sweet. Steve Lund said Matt Rife. I'm seeing a lot of people like Matt Rife lately.
Oh yeah,
people send me his clips all the time. They're like, "This guy reminds me of you," and I'm like always wondering if people do that to Matt.
Right.
They're sending pictures of clips of me.
You're like my ball.
Yeah, probably not, but we can. That'd be hilarious if they did.
Right.
But there is this one. So I had this one clip go viral about silent. It was like this gay couple that came to my show where they had silent sex, and it went viral, and I got like 1,000 like gay followers. And this one guy, he follows me and he talks to me all the time, and he sends me messages every day. And
cool.
He told me that he likes Matt Rife, right?
And
he's always in his inbox, but Matt blocked him on everything.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Because well, I could see why. Because this guy, he sends some pretty risque stuff. He told me that he wanted to pinch my nipples, and I'm like, I did not know what to say to that.
A little bit forward.
Like, thanks for watching, buddy.
Right. Thanks for admiring the scenery. Was this the guy? I'm not even at that show. Was this the couple where the one guy was like, "What do you like about him? He talks too much," and the other guy was like, "He's too quiet." Is that the?
Yeah.
I was on that show with you.
Yeah. So that clip like went viral and got like, I don't know, 300,000-400,000, maybe 500,000 views on Facebook, and I got a ton of gay followers, and I love it. And I love that. I love that they are so nice and they want to rub my nipples, but they can't.
Right.
They can't rub my nipples. But I appreciate it.
But maybe that's why they're following. You're like this.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, unattainable celebrity figure.
I'm no Kate Brindle. I'm no power couple, but we're doing it.
You know what? You just gotta hook up with a radio DJ, and then you will be of Saginaw, and then you can be the.
Watch out, radio DJs.
Yeah.
But hey, Kate, I could go on forever and ever with you on this live cast, and but my laptop's about to die.
Oh, okay.
And my camera already died, and I don't want to just leave you just randomly in the middle of a sentence. But before we go, I just want to say, number one, I appreciate everybody watching this live stream. I appreciate everybody that likes it and shares it and has been commenting and been part of our conversation today. We definitely appreciate it. And Kate, I appreciate you for coming on, and I can't wait to see you in Claire this Saturday at the VFW.
I appreciate you having me.
You get tickets at MikeBall.com, and boom. Look at that, MikeBall.com.
Oh yeah.
You get the tickets. You can see myself, Kate Brindle, and if Steve said Dave Welfare. Dave Welfare is in a show in Lansing, so come to that one. But yeah, of course, Kate. I love having you on it because you're a talented lady who is kind, unlike Ellen DeGeneres that I heard allegedly.
Well, thank you.
And if you ever got super famous, I feel like you'd keep your kindness. You wouldn't just flip and then just start eating animals and like going crazy. I feel like you'd always be nice.
Oh, well, thanks. I try. It's important to me.
Yeah, we'll see. Kate gets famous. She gets a Netflix special. I'm like, hey, it's Mike. She's like, who the
Who?
fuck is this? You piece of shit. But no, I appreciate you. Love you. And I will see you this Saturday.
Yeah, thank you so much again. It was so great to see you.
Of course. Thank you guys. Take it easy. Have a great day.
All right, bye.